He actually asked me if I came to America because it's America, and I didn't came there for Libby.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Alright, we're going to talk to you guys about 90 Day Fiance. Oh, happily ever after. Baby. Alright, listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell button for a notification of the uploads, baby. Oh my god. Listen, don't forget as well, mineral gun. You understand? Listen. Hey, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Talking to you guys about 90 Day Fiance. We're going to talk to you guys about Andrei and Elizabeth first as well. I think after watching this show, I'm laughing, cackling, crying, and I sometimes don't know whether to take things seriously. But watching the Andrei and Elizabeth episode, I actually watched, I think, episode 1, and I stopped watching it. But that very first episode that I watched, okay, when I saw them in the car and he was being aggressive in his tone and the way he was talking, the words that he chose and used, for me, that showed enough of an intent to say, Elizabeth, run for your blood clot life. You understand? Listen, you see, when someone is verbally aggressive with the words that they use and the way they remonstrate about how they feel, it should be an indication, an early warning sign, and a red flag to tell you, listen, you're not my kind of persons. Why? Because this is how DV starts.
You know, you have to understand my side too. Charlie is asking questions, but are just provocative, and you are literally looking for
That's the last thing I heard from you.
This is how domestic violence starts, and someone's going to say, I didn't see the signs. On this occasion, the signs are clear. Okay? Now, the story goes, they're obviously now in Moldova, okay, and they were looking to obviously get married on the father's wish, on the bride's father's wishes, and he was going to pay for it and everything like that, right? And what's happened is obviously at the dinner table, and obviously, I love my Romanians, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Chimai faci? Yeah, don't know. If you're Romanian, you get it. But obviously, yeah, so obviously they're at the dinner table, having chow, having food, enjoying themselves, conversations flowing. The father and the son, obviously, of the bride are asking questions about a situation, asking Andrei and his friends, you know, quintessential questions to find out who is this guy. You want to ask more deeper questions to get to know him a bit more. You've got your friends there. I'm going to ask more questions to find out truly if you are who you say you are, right? And so what happens is as they begin to talk, there's a beef that happens. Now, this was last episode. I want to bring this forward because I want to bring this towards what happened today. Okay. Now, the issue then turned into a big fight, a big blowout between Andrei and the big brother and Chuck, yeah? And to the point where Andrei said, let's go outside, da-da-da. Now, throughout that whole process, I could see why Andrei was vexed. They're asking mad questions. And you know how people can be when they're from different cultures, be mad ignorant, okay? And that could potentially be playing on the part of the Americans as they speak. So obviously, it extends into a huge argument. And Andrei gets to a point where he's vexed that even when he leaves the table with Libby at her request after several goes, he then still wants to come back and still wants to remonstrate and argue and want to fight the brother. That for me told me everything I need to know. He can't handle his anger. That's got nothing to do with liquor. The liquor's only expanding on what's in him. Now,
babe, like I've never seen you act that way.
Babe, it's alcohol. I'm sorry about this.
Regardless, you need to apologize to my family.
Fast forward to this episode here. You know, Libby makes it very, very clear that, listen, Andrei, your behavior was unacceptable. And he begins to apologize, but the way he apologizes is my problem here. When you're apologizing, give me a look in my eye. Stand still. You know what I'm saying? Give me positive body language that you are remorseful about what you've done. Andrei doesn't do this.
Or you were so enraged.
Sorry, Lib. What?
Sorry, Lib.
Those things. Andrei says, yeah, you know, I'm sorry, da-da-da-da-da. And obviously, I know his English is not as great, but he said, obviously, I'm sorry, yeah, da-da-da. And then keeps on walking. Now, that keeps on walking is a problem because that tells me that you're not going to give me a proper apology. Why? You want this to move on very quickly. It can't. It can't move on quickly because you have messed up. And therefore, you are responsible for now fixing this mess. Okay? Now, the more responsible thing for him to have done was to go and say, Libby, my bad. You know, last night I was drinking, I was moving mad. And I must have said something to your dad and said to your brother, I'm so sorry. I apologize. My bad. I'm going to make it up to you. No, he doesn't do that. Instead, pride begins to eat at him and he continues on and saying, listen, I'm not going to apologize to your brother. I might apologize to your dad, but not to your brother. Now, let me be very frank. I don't see why he wants to apologize to the father because the father was instigating just as much as the brother. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to about instigation, The father was asking questions just like the brother was. It's just that the brother decided that he was going to respond to Andrei and say to him, I'm not scared of you, right? And that initiated, obviously, alpha male kind of behaviors where they feel like they have to show that they're the apex predator and fight each other to show who's the top man, yeah? But in truth, it was both of them, the father and the son, right? And so there's a problem here, which is that Andrei doesn't know how to conduct himself in spaces where there's going to be family. Because if you're having a fight at that moment at the dinner table, what's to make you think that you won't have a fight later on, with the parents and the family, somewhere else which is meant to be it's meant to be an important time for you. You know what I mean? But then added to that, it's the way that obviously, I'm fearful of the fact that obviously if he can do that to the brother, how much more could he do that to the sister? You know what I mean?
Moldova.
Got me. Drink?
Yeah, well, I think that's why we got in the fight the other night,
Yeah.
How much more can he do that to his own bride, Andrei, Elizabeth? And so obviously it was interesting because again, what's Libby's position here? She's in between the middle. She's playing both sides. She doesn't want any of them to, I guess, lose, right? She wants them to work together. Now, what's interesting is that obviously when she came to visit her dad before her brother came in, the brother came in, and said, obviously, how's your bum husband? And she didn't check him. At that point, I knew also, Libby, you're moving mad. Why am I saying you're moving mad? You need to defend your husband and say, listen, bro, don't things don't run. You don't ever call my missus, you never call my man dumb. Do you know what I'm saying? Or
Where's your bum husband at?
Not here.
What's his deal? So did you guys talk about last night?
or stupid or anything that's kind of words. No, allow it. You understand? You don't talk to my man like that. You don't talk to my man when he's here or when he's not here. Yeah, let me quell that behavior right now. She didn't do that. That's the problem. The problem is that now she's on the fence. You got to choose a side. You can't stay on the fence the way you're standing on the fence, yeah? Without there being a proper regulation or regulating of what should be said and what is proper etiquette for your own relationship, okay? So that's what I've got to say. Because she didn't shut down her brother for saying it. She ignored it almost and just waved it off like it never happened. But the moment he said that, he showed a disrespect towards your partner. Check it at the door. You understand? What I don't agree with is that fact that when Andrei went to meet the father and the son, the only reason why he apologized because of Libby, sorry. And that, it shows a mindset that you're not sorry for what you actually done. You're sorry because your wife pushed you to do it. What happens when you don't listen to your wife that day? What happens when your wife is not able to say what she needs to say to make you change? What happens then? And that rage that you feel that you've been encountering and you feel justified to have will then have to be questioned because now it will be directed towards your missus. How long before Libby catches a case? How long before Libby catches these hands? How long before Libby's on the end of a verbal vibration from him? How long? Right? How long? Because he did a family like that, why wouldn't he do you like that? Don't think because you love him that you're an exception. You're not the exception. You understand? Then obviously he met the brother and the father later on and explained, obviously, look, it's my bad. I was sorry for what I did. Moldova is different. And Moldova, his behavior changed, right? And then it was interesting because the dad actually backed the son again. And this is why I always say there's a problem also. The son also was moving mad too. But then the father's backing the son. And I'm like, yo, you should also control your son at that point in time. You should have told him to chill the beans down. But he didn't. Instead, he allowed the son to go buck wild and free. Maybe because the son was going to say something or do something that he wished he could do. But either way, he should have never backed his son at the point when they were talking at the outside the barracks. Because the son was also to blame. So when obviously Andrei is saying, listen, I am to blame, but you're also to blame. And they're telling me, no, it takes two to tango. I didn't want to fight myself. Your son, stood up to check me and challenge me. Therefore, he's also to blame.
Like Elizabeth agreed upon this. We had the same fault in this.
I was hoping you wouldn't do this, man. I was hoping you would take full responsibility.
I take full responsibility.
So yeah, dealing with Andrei and Elizabeth, I think what really needs to happen is either some serious counselling right now, conversation around, okay, because I think they've already done a traditional wedding or something like that, whatever. But there needs to be a serious conversation around DV, domestic violence, what she can do to help herself if she's ever in that case, to help him as well with anger issues, let him be examined by people to really determine where's this argument come from, get a therapist, where's your anger come from, where is it arising from, what's triggering you to get to this point. It's very, very important to understand that so that we know how best to operate to be able to, I guess, respect the fact that you got a woman in your life who loves you and cares for you. Like, his behavior in this episode and the previous one was abysmal, right? You can't apologize and walk away. You understand? You can't do it. Whereas when people get comfortable and they're comfortable in their habitat, sometimes the true nature of the individual really comes out. So I think what happened is Andrei here was in his natural habitat. He was in his natural domain. He was in his natural home. He was in his place where he can feel comfortable, and he was enabled not by American people around him, but Moldovan people around him. Therefore, people who actually knew his character, who can say to you, that's not how he really is, that's not how he really is. But the truth of the matter is, that's how he was behaving. Like a damn thug. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Thug life. You understand? Okay, proud. But do you know what I mean? Like, I really do believe that he got comfortable in this arena that he's in. That's why the father said, I've never seen you behave like this in America. Reason being is because he knows he can't behave like that in America. But he can in his own home house, in his own country. Because this is where home is. This is where safety is. This is where comfort is. This is where he can actually show his true colours because he's in a safe zone. Do you understand? So yeah, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, click on the bell button for a notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded.